Good evening again, everyone, and welcome to part 2 of the Dominaria United pre-release pool video sequence. Part 2? Yeah. Anyway, so a little bit of story time. If you guys happen to see this is a part 2 video. I did the part 1 not too long ago. And with it being the part 2, a little bit more story behind it. I did go to a total of, I believe, 7 pre-release events. Trying to remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I say 7, but 6 of them were official ones, and then one of them was one at a friend's place. So I still count it as technically 7. And of the 7, I went undefeated in 3, and not so great in the other 4. And then, of course, the one amongst my friends, I played 3 rounds. I beat them all. And, I mean, no offense to them. They're decent players. But some of them were not the best players. And I mean, don't get me wrong. We all started from somewhere. But regardless, I did go undefeated. And I pretty much beat them all 2-0, if I recall correctly. I think. Could be wrong. But anyway, continuing on with the story time. Each one of these boxes is a sealed pool that I went to and of all of them, what I did was after each event, I went and unsleeved everything, put them back into their respective boxes, and tried to keep each pool as it was to kind of show you the deck that I went with. And here's the promo code. I already claimed one, so I can't claim any more, so there's no point in me just wasting them, so I decided to give it out to whoever punches in first. These were the cards that I had set to the side. I had essentially what I decided to sideboard, and trying to remember which deck this one was, but I do think, yeah, this is the deck that I ran at the end. And this one I went 3-1, if I remember correctly. The only person I lost to with this deck was a friend of mine at the very end. Yeah, at the very end. I kind of recall now because I did not run these. I think I ran everything from there back. But so we'll go over the cards here. These were the cards in the pool, and I didn't mention earlier in the earlier video, but I love the stained glass effect on these lands. They look really nice. I haven't seen a foil one yet in person myself, but definitely a big fan of them. And then the 3/3 beast token, kind of pretty neat. That's for sure. The new Johnny Sleeper Agent token, which I'll have to set this to the side. I have a friend of mine that's very devastated at the fact that Johnny is now completed. It's unfortunate for him. I think it's kind of neat, just the fact that they are willing to technically kill off big name characters now, instead of just, you know, making them all live. I know the whole, if I recall, during War of the Spark, I was expecting a lot more people to die, not just the 2. And then one of the promo cards that we got for attending an event, and yeah, I'm going to get my hands on as many of, not the Ball Lightning specifically, because right now I know they have the Ball Lightning, the Sarah Angel, and the Findhorn Elves, Findhorn, which, however you pronounce that. I do want to get my hands on every single one of them, just because I do enjoy the game that much, and it would be nice to have every single one of those promo cards. This particular rare I was not a big fan of. It was not the greatest board wipe technically in blue, but I'm not a big fan. And then one of the 3 equipments in the set, which I think is kind of lackluster, not the biggest deal. This card, I think I mentioned it in the earlier video, is a crazy all-star performer. Definitely, if you are drafting, keep your eyes out for this. Great card to go splash into. This card as well. I mean, just lock down your opponent's biggest thing pretty much for 4 turns. Dumb. Really good. Pretty much a shock. Or late game pump your dude for that extra 2 damage to get in. As long as it doesn't kill your dude, of course. So these are the cards that I chose not to run in the end. I'm sure I probably could have done a little bit better, but I think at this particular event it was the noon on Saturday, and that was going straight from doing a 6:30 into a midnight the previous night So I don't think I got home until like 7:30, 8 in the morning, and I didn't fall asleep until 8:30, 9ish, something like that, after taking a shower and all that jazz. So yeah, definitely was pretty exhausted going into this event. Not an excuse, I'm just stating a fact. I was pretty delusional still, but I'd say I was pretty happy with the deck that I built. It's not the worst, and obviously not the best, but still not the worst. And I pulled one of these, Soul of Windgrace, definitely awesome for a Lands Matter deck. Big old fan of that. Phyrexian Rager is just a classic that I'm glad that they reprinted. It's a really good card, and I do enjoy the art in this one. The nice updated art, pretty cool. This card is definitely a limited all-star, for sure, lots of fun. And if you are in a 5-color deck and you just need something with a big front, this is the guy for you. This removal spell is pretty solid. This card is pretty good. This was my promo. I am not the biggest fan of this. The wording will trip you up. Be careful. If you do not have at least 4 things, if you just grab 2 things, you get nothing, because your opponent can choose both those things and put them right back into your deck. And she looks like that one chick from the MCU. I forget her name right now. It eludes me, but she looks just like it. Kind of funny. Oh, it looks like I left one of my lands from my own collection in here. And then this particular card is the nuts. I feel like it did do a lot of work whenever it did get in, and my particular version of it, if you see, is shifted really far to the right. So it's kind of neat. And funny enough, this was the only card that was shifted like that. Everything else was pretty much normal. This card I got almost, like, I think I got this in every one but 1 of 6 of my pulls, so not too bad. Pretty solid, fun stuff. This card is dumb at the uncommon rarity, to not only be a 2-mana, 2 menace, but prevents your opponents from gaining life, and it can be pumped. Kind of ridiculous. This card, I feel like, will do some work. Definitely getting bigger by just casting creatures, and then when it dies, move them tokens around. Yeah, set that rare to the side here. The number of fight spells at instant speed in this set is ridiculous. Like, both of these are pretty good. And then the fact that this will actually pump your guy if you cast it during the main phase. So if you absolutely need to, and yeah, I had 2 of them in this particular pool, so it was pretty bonks. This card is pretty good too. But yeah, that was this particular pool. So this one was the one where I went 3-1, but I mean, of all people, the person I lost to was a very good player. I mean, and I made a handful of mistakes myself whenever we were playing, so I can only blame myself. Definitely a lot of fun playing against him, and I'll never complain about playing against him. He's a great player. Let's see, what was this? Oh, so this is one of those welcome packs. At one of the stores I went to, they gave us one of these. This is the code for that. I did not punch this in, but whoever gets to that first gets it. Good luck to you. But these were some of the cards that came in it. I mean, Commander's Fear, pretty staple. Urtai Scorn. Some of the cards from the new set is in here for sure, and then they had some of the older cards like Johnny the Great-Hearted. I think these are like preset packs, so you get all the same rares and same commons and uncommons. Here's the code from the sealed deck, so that's for whoever gets that. But yeah, the cards from this were pretty neat. It was nice to just get it, and it was props to the store for just giving it to us. I mean, he was a super nice guy. Didn't have to, but they chose to, and it definitely is appreciated. Let's see here. Trying to remember what was the deck and what was not. And I believe that back is the deck, yeah. So I will go over these cards in the front first, because these are the cards in the pool, and this is the actual deck from this particular pool. But yeah, a lot of the commons and uncommons in the set are just bonkers. I absolutely enjoyed the set a lot. I will be doing my best to try and draft in as many drafts as I can for this particular set. As you can see, I did as many sealeds as I could, and so they were all a lot of fun. Personally, I'll admit, I prefer sealed over draft, just because it goes by faster, I feel, and I think it really pushes you to do the best you can with what you have in front of you. Sometimes, like, regardless to how strong a card is, sometimes you just can't run that card for whatever reason. Like, perfect example, I got double Shivan Reefs. This is crap in this particular pool. Like, I did not do too well with those, but with this particular pool, I still went 2-2, and the only people that I lost to were two people that I had played against multiple times, and they're both great players. So the losses that I had against them, they weren't the worst. I could have definitely done a lot better, and of course, you know, pulling the right mana at the right time definitely helps. This card is a limited all-star. The fact that it's funny, I think I called it a Minotaur with a lot of people many times over the weekend, and no one disagreed with it until we actually sat down and read it, and it's like, it's an elf archer. But anyway, regardless, it's a really powerful 5-mana 4/4 that can Lava Axe for 5, and if you can bounce it, if you can recur it from the graveyard, if you can blink it, ridiculous amounts of damage. And oh yeah, of course, pulling a Jaya, Fiery Negotiator. It was a pretty solid pull from this particular pool. Was happy to see that and run that. Let's see here, lots of fun stuff. Oh yeah, Defiler of Vigor was my promo for this particular one, and this card really pushed the games that whenever I did play it, it won me the game. And the games that I did lose, it was really because I did not hit my mana, so it was actually kind of disappointing. I was sitting at like 4 mana the whole time, and then I had the Defiler in hand. It's like, oh, if I'd hit that one more land drop, I could have possibly changed the game. And another amazing 5-drop, the Silverback Elder. I feel like this will make waves in both Commander and possibly Standard Constructed, maybe Pioneer. We'll see. I mean, it does a lot of things for 5 mana, and it's already 5 mana 5/7. The nuts. The Elder Dragon War, this card was okay. At worst, it's a 4 mana 4/4 dragon. At best, it can assist a little bit. Broken Wings, I kind of mainboarded just because of the sheer number of artifacts and flying creatures. And yeah, this deck, it was solid. My pulls were like, I feel like my pulls were nuts, and I should have gone better, but I just did not pull the mana. I don't believe I made any play mistakes, but then again, I can't exactly recall every play that I made, so I might have made mistakes. I'm sure that I did. Regardless, it was definitely a fun. That was a fun one, and it was insane. Here's another promo card, or the code for whoever gets to that first. I believe this is the deck that I ran, so I'll look at that last, because this is the last one. This is the last pull. This was the deck that I went... Yeah, I went undefeated with this particular deck, and I'll just go ahead and pull the promo card. I pulled this particular promo card, and I didn't even go black. I didn't need to whenever I was looking at the rest of the pulls. So let's see here. Let's go with this part first. Got some lands, tokens, the Jaya token. Got that rare. Duplicate of the board wipe rare, so it's just funny I didn't run them. And then these were some of the cards that I believe I had stuck to the side because I would have some of them I would have sideboarded, most of them I would not, honestly. And then the Feinhorn Elves in German, if I remember correctly, I think that's the language that this is in. But it's kind of funny, and I definitely want to get my hands on all of them. I do have a Sarah Angel flying around somewhere. I just need to find it. What was this pile? This was the other pile in front. These were the cards I think I decided not to run. Yeah, these are the cards I chose not to run. I mean, they're solid cards, but that's the thing about limited sealed. You got to really look at what you have, and regardless to if you have super strong things in one color, you got to go with what's the strongest overall, and then kind of what synergizes with your entire deck. At least that's my philosophy whenever I'm building, and I will be upfront. I avoid blue as much as I can, but if the pool leans me towards it, I will try towards it. And looking at this pool, I was very interested in going blue, but I decided to go the route that I did. I think, yeah, I went green-white with a splash of black. This card, once again, it performed very well for me every time. That's pretty good. The Joda's Codex in limited, this card is the nuts. Like, if you get that domain, which is super easy to get domain, especially with the budget duels, it's just draw an extra card every turn. Well, every one of your turns respectively. Danitha is a insane way to come back just the 5 mana 4/4 first strike vigilance lifelink. The equipment and aura thing is it never really came into play. No big deal. The Guardian of New Benalia. This card I feel like will make mono white go places, just because you can it's that card selection, and you can discard to make it strong, or to make it indestructible, and you can pump it to get it through. Just insane card. And guess what? I got 2 of them in this particular pool, and that's what really leaned me towards white. Those 2 cards in Danitha was enough of a reason for me to kind of force the white. This card, if I really needed the card draw, I'd do the first one, but typically I'll just go straight into 2 or 3. Never really did the card draw too often. And Green Defiler. Green Defiler was the other reason why I went green. Regardless to how good the other cards were, just the green and white was dumb. I mean, look at that. I also had this in white in this particular pool. This card, the nuts. You go domain, it's 1 mana exile. It's an O-ring at flash. It's absurd. I'm like, wow. And so kind of pushed me in the proper colors. And then this card with enlist, the enlist mechanic is pretty bonkers. The removal was pretty strong. This guy's also strong. Yeah, the green white. This was a lot of a deck. This particular deck was a lot of fun to pilot, and I think we only went 3 rounds for that particular event. So because there was only 6 people at that one, but the store was nice enough to still give us price support and support us, and it was a lot of fun. Definitely enjoyed. So that one was a very strong 3-0 undefeated deck. In that particular tournament, I didn't lose a single round. Every opponent I went against, I just rolled them all. It was insanely fast too. Like it came out pretty quick. So overall, I feel like the set itself is kind of slow, but then you can if it gets fast, it gets out of hand fast. It's hard to explain. It's so weird. Like majority of decks, like every event I went to pretty much went to turns every round, but on the smaller ones it didn't go to rounds or turns as often, but there were still like a couple people that still went to turns, and I just never understood it. It was weird. But overall, lots of fun pulls. I didn't pull insane amounts of mythics, but the mythics that I did pull were pretty fun. But stay tuned, there's going to be a couple more videos coming up. I've got a collector booster box I'm going to be busting open, and here's hoping and praying I get one of those Legends cards that's worth something. Not just the Legends card, I'm looking for one of the, the expensive ones, the money ones. There's those. I also have some prize packs. It's a random combination of both set booster packs and a couple draft boosters. There's one store that gave us draft boosters instead of set boosters, which, hey, I'm not complaining. There was prize support. That was in addition to what we got. And then I also got another draft box to just open. And I have a secret lair that I'm going to be opening sometime soon too. So that's stuff to be looking forward to. And I am still in the works of building my Street Fighter Commander decks. I will try to start a series doing kind of a breakdown of the decks that I'm building. And it's not going to be your standard just, hey, these are the great cards to put into the deck. These are the great cards that I found in my personal pool of stuff that I have that I'm putting into the deck, which I'm sure that there are better techs and the better cards to run instead, but it's more of, hey, I have this, it's just sitting in my box of stuff, I can put it with this commander, let's go with it. And that's essentially how those decks are going to be built. I'm essentially going to be just going through all of this stuff that I have, at least the majority of it that I have to set to the side, and just kind of building what I have from what I have. But thank you so much again for staying until the end. Please take the time to like, share, and comment. It is appreciated if you do so. And look forward to those videos that are coming up. And once again, never forget, Senpai didn't notice. Thank you. Bye-bye.